Next up on copycat.com, how to make a New York strip steak. Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Manley with copycat.com. Today I want to show you how to make the perfect grilled strip loin. This is one of my favorite cuts of steak. There's no bone in it, it's wonderfully marbled, and I'm going to show you how to cook this very easily. So to season the steak, you know what, you don't need to do anything fancy, just salt and pepper. Now you can try some different types of salt. Here is some Himalayan pink salt, it's wonderful. And I also have some Malden sea flake salt. This is a great salt to use. Things taste wonderful with this. Slightly larger flakes of salt. Kosher salt also works really well, and you can find it in any grocery store. I don't like to use table salt too much, so because I just don't like the way it just simply soaks right in, whereas I think the kosher salt, it does a little bit differently. It behaves a little bit differently. So we're going to go ahead and start by salting this. I'm gonna go ahead and do this with kosher salt very liberally. And you need to season it very liberally because this is the only way this meat's gonna get seasoned. So lots of salt, and then we're gonna come back and put black pepper on here. It's very simple. I have used like truffle salt before, and that tastes really good as well. All right, so we're gonna put the black pepper on. And I have an iron skillet here. And I'm going to use an iron skillet to cook the steak, or initially start it. We're going to cook the steak fairly high, then we're going to pop it into the oven. I like my steaks at medium rare to rare, so that's about no higher than 135. So we are going to add a little bit of oil to our skillet here. Now I like to use an iron skillet because it transfers the heat really well, and it also makes things brown beautifully. So get the skillet up pretty high. You don't want it to smoke too much, but you do want to get it to right before it starts smoking. And we're simply going to lay the steak in here. So it's just starting to smoke. And we're going to cook it for a couple minutes on each side. Then we're going to finish it by putting it in a 350-degree oven. So we've cooked the steak about 2 minutes on each side, and you can see it's wonderfully brown on both sides right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this in the oven. Because this isn't medium rare in the middle, it's raw, and it's probably gonna be a little bit cold if you were to go ahead and cut into it. So we are gonna cook it in the oven for probably about 5 to 8 minutes, and we'll come back in 5 minutes and take its temperature, and we'll see how done it is. So our steak came out of the oven and we checked its temperature. Now before you serve the steak, it's really ideal to let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes so the juices flow back all the way through the meat. And it's gonna be far more juicy if you allow that to happen. I know that's very counterintuitive because when a steak comes right off the grill, you wanna just grab it and cut right into it. But wait, and I promise it'll be better. Let's go over just a couple of quick tips about cooking up a steak. Ideally, let your steak come to room temperature before you start cooking. Why? These thicker cuts of steak, it's gonna be more ideal for the heat to go all the way through when it's not only having to come up to temperature as it cooks, that way it's not having to fight the refrigerator in there. Season it liberally with salt and pepper before cooking it. Unless if you're gonna marinate it for several hours or a day or so, you're not going to get the flavor to soak all the way through. So salt and pepper on the top is really enough. We started the steak out in a neutral oil, just seared it on a couple sides, and we popped it into the oven. Now, how long is it gonna take? It's gonna depend upon the cut of your steak. The thicker it is, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but use a meat thermometer. They're great to use. So we're gonna go ahead and cut into the steak. We'll show you what it looks like. So as you can see, this is a really nice medium rare steak, just like I like them. You can always cook your steak to the doneness that you prefer. So if you enjoyed this recipe, please give me a big thumbs up here on YouTube. It really helps me out. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, why not? I have a channel here on YouTube with videos released every Sunday and Wednesday, so be sure to check them out. I'm also on social media at Copycat Recipes on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So be sure to check it out. So we'll go ahead and take a taste of the steak. That was really good. It's tender and flavorful. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Thanks for watching.